Iraq says Nineveh province is now fully liberated from the Islamic State. The EU's Brexit negotiator Michel Barnier says there's been no decisive progress in this week's Brexit talks, and French President Emmanuel Macron's government unveiled labour reforms designed to make it easier to hire and fire. Protests are already planned for September.
It's 9:01.
Community Conversations is brought to you by Arkansas Early Learning, offering no-cost childcare in Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas. Applications at arearlylearning.org.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning to everyone out there. I hope that you're having a great start to your day despite the rain. Today is Thursday, August 31st, 2017, and I'm happy that you tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I am your host for today, Kobila Harden, and I have a studio full of very special guests with me. Many of you may remember that Dr. Karen McDaniel came a few weeks ago and discussed interviewing one-on-one, what to do, what not to do. And so we decided that we needed her to come back and talk about how to build a resume. So before you go on your interview, you have to build your resume, which is basically, a document that tells about you, just you on paper. So before we get into our topic for today, I would like for our new guests to please give some introductions to themselves. First, we have Dr. Karen McDaniel, Dr. Sandra Bevel, did I pronounce that correctly? And Dr. Steve Leslie. So we thank you all for joining us this morning.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
And so, ladies first, Dr. Bevel, I would like for you to please give us some introduction about yourself.
I have been at ASU almost 30 years. I think it's about 28 years. I'm very happy to be here, by the way. Thank you for having us. I'm originally from Blytheville. And my main area is business communication and managerial communication. And resumes are just one of the many important things in business communication.
Yes, ma'am.
And I have 2 beautiful grandchildren.
Oh, wow. Well, I hope that your family is tuning in. I just want to mention that we are live on Facebook and we already have a message. What a fabulous group of business professors, go A-State. And this is from Dana Bevel Watson.
Hello, Dana.
And 2 beautiful children.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dana, for tuning in and for that message. So I hope that your family and friends are watching, and hopefully people will join in the conversation. Dr. Leslie.
Hi, it's Steve Leslie, originally from Jamaica.
Okay.
I've been on campus for the past 10 years. I have taught in the College of Communications, and I currently teach business communication as well as some other management courses, including retailing, social impact management, and resume building is an essential part of everyone's career, whether you're starting out or you're continuing in that particular career field. My background has been in banking and finance. I've worked in retail banking and corporate banking for over 10 years and transitioned. I was also a high school teacher as well. I taught math and science for a number of years. So looking forward to sharing some of those experiences of being an employee as well as being an employer.
Wow, you have a lot of information to share, a lot of background experience to share. That's wonderful. Dr. Karen, even though you've been here before, we'd still like to get to know what department you're in and what classes you teach.
Sure. I'm in the Management and Marketing Department with Steve and Sandra. I teach organizational behavior and leadership, and I've been at Arkansas State for 6 years, but I've been teaching for over 20 years, and I too used to teach math at the high school level.
Oh, wow.
You were kindred spirits.
Yes.
I would love to hear from some of you all students and see, did they benefit? Did they get a lot out of the class? Did they put their best effort into getting the most out of the class? All right, so we're going to transition on into our topic. Now, one thing that gets a lot of people stuck, myself included, the objective, like putting your resume together, what comes first, what font to use, what alignment to use, what margin, like all of that stuff can trip some people up. So let's start from the top and work our way down.
Can I just?
Please.
All right. I was thinking about this last night, and one thing I always tell my students, and I also taught many years at the high school level, and I had my students there do resumes also. So if I had to come up with the most important thing in doing a resume, there are really two that are tied for first.
Okay.
So the number one would be to proofread, because you are putting
Yes.
your best foot forward. You can't, your best foot forward cannot include a grammatical error, a noticeable or misspelled word.
Yeah.
And then the other thing would be conciseness, which is giving a lot of information in very few words.
Okay.
So have it brief, because you're going to get maybe a 10, 20-second glance, and they have to be able to see your qualifications. Don't bury it.
Wow. And I think I need to take a course in that. I recently did a paper for a class, and the note said, some of your sentences, some of your paragraphs went off in a tangent.
Oh, we all have that tendency.
Yeah, one of the things we need to recognize that your resume is a marketing tool. You're selling yourself. And think of it when you're buying a product. If you're not able to be sold within a few seconds, many times you just simply look away and you go somewhere else.
That's right.
So the employer who's looking at the resume has many other things to do. And when they look at your particular resume, they're seeing within 7 to 10 seconds, they decide, should I go further?
Wow.
Yes,
That's right.
that is true. I do some HR consulting, and I've helped a firm with hiring. So you get a stack of resumes, and you have so many, you have to go through quickly. And if you see a typo, no style, or no stack. If you see something that's maybe not concise enough, that might be a maybe. If I have time, I'll go back and look at it. But you want to pick off the ones that have done it correctly. They're concise. They have no typos, to the point.
That's right.
Now, I want to ask about number of pages for your resume.
Our college students, or somebody with a high school education, typically, a traditional student should have a one-page resume. Now, if the student's been president of the SGA or had a lot of activities, maybe a page and a half.
Okay.
But they say, and correct me if you think differently, but if you've got 10 years of work experience, you might can go to 2.
Yeah.
But remember to be very concise. You want to highlight the qualifications.
Right.
Because many times what persons, they confuse a resume with a curriculum vitae.
That's right.
And the vita is the lengthy one. The resume is the abbreviated version, and pretty much it's very focused. It looks specifically at the job you're applying for.
Targeted.
And it's very, very targeted. And if you're using that method, then you have to make sure the employer or the prospective employer sees what they want in a very short period of time.
So when you're applying for a job, will they let you know whether they want just a basic resume or the curriculum?
Vita?
They're going to want a basic resume.
They want a
Usually
basic resume. They want to scan. They want to be able to look to see, are you the right person, and make a decision. When you are now going in, they'll say, send us your Vita, and you can send that extended one. So your resume is a summary. It should pretty much say what your skills are, how you're going to meet the particular job you're applying for, why you're the best candidate. Literally a marketing tool.
Yeah, your resume alerts to them. Do they want more information?
Yeah.
From you?
Okay.
Or do they want to
Whet's their
run?
appetite, as they say.
So less is more in this case.
That's right.
Less is more. Okay, so we talked about the number of pages, what should be included, what should not be included. Let's talk about getting started with the font, because some people want to put their name in pretty curly or, fancy letters, and, what is is there a hard and fast rule?
I like just plain professional looking font.
So nothing on.
That's
Definitely not fancy.
No,
Okay.
not fancy.
One of the things that would go against having the fancy font is many times your employers ask you to upload your resume into their system.
Okay.
When the resume is scanned or uploaded into the system, those fonts actually becomes garbled. You can't even see them. So people upload the fancy resume with all the fancy font, and it goes into a system when first it's a software that actually looks for keywords on that resume. So nobody's even going to see the font. So when someone actually gets it, if it's scanned and uploaded, the font changes. And it doesn't look as impressive as when you originally did it. So
I have my students do too. I have them do a traditional resume where the font it's not fancy, but it's larger. So it's kind of attractive. And then I have them do an e-resume, which is exactly what Steve's talking about, where you take out the formatting. And it's really, really a simple process to do it. And that way, when it's uploaded, it's not all garbled.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
No.
One of the things that students or persons who are applying for jobs may want to do as well, especially when you're uploading a resume into a company's system, is to put it in a PDF format.
That's right.
Because what PDF does, it maintains the format that you create in the resume. If it's a Word doc, it's likely to be uploaded and it changes the format. So you may have a table and it looks really garbled and just not very impressive, whereas if it's in a PDF format, that particular form is maintained throughout.
Okay, I've seen that before where I've uploaded a document and I open it on another computer, another device or something, and it's like all out of order.
And one thing too, I have my students, when they're doing their body of their resume, you need to do at least a 12, no smaller than a 10. I make mine do 12.
12 points?
Yeah,
12
12
points.
points.
12 points,
definitely.
Because the people who are reading it may be a little older, and the smaller print is hard to see, and we're all about making it easy for them to read our resume.
And usually Times New Roman is the standard font type you want to use. It's a universal font type, and regardless of the system you're using, operating system you're using, or the word processing system you're using, it should work where it's visible.
Okay, Times New Roman. Okay, we have a few more Facebook shout-outs from Phil Patrick. He says rock stars.
Thank
I don't even call it rock stars, but that's good.
And then Gan, I think it's Gan Barrett. He says, hey, Craig. I don't know who he's referring to.
That's what he calls my son.
Okay. Okay. And anyone else that's watching on live feed? We have like 10 people watching. I don't know who they are.
Oh, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We thank you all for joining. If you would like to make a comment, please, or if you have a question, please drop it in our Facebook live stream. Or you can give us a call here in the studio, 870-277-1080. Okay. Go ahead.
So you were talking about the parts of the resume.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
We'll just start with the heading. Okay. And students, and again, I know everybody listening is not a student, so I don't mean to just talk specifically to them. But
at some point, someone is going to be looking for another job
right,
or something somewhere.
Right. So if you have a permanent address, list that, and if you have a temporary address, list that. And everybody practically has a cell phone, so that's fine to list, but then check your voicemail message and make sure it's professional.
Oh.
And when you leave your email, when you put your email address on there, which you want to, again, make sure that's professional, go to your, like Hotmail or Yahoo or wherever it is, and make sure that it doesn't go to spam in case you hear back from the employer. So just kind of starting at the top and
another note on that: when you have an email address, you want to make sure that it sounds professional.
Correct.
You don't want it to say, hey, super person.
or worse.
Or hug you beer.
Yeah.
pretty girl at gmail.com.
And you, from you all's experience, have you seen some of those wacky?
Yes.
So as you're going through, you have a resume in your hand, name, address, phone, email. If you see an email do you put it in the no pile right away, or do you say, okay, I'm a maybe it, and then go back to it?
Or it depends on how questionable.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, your email can make or break you, so take note of that.
If I may add as well, make sure your voicemail works and it's set up. Okay. Because many times I've called persons to say, we want to have you come in for an interview, and the voicemail is not set up, so you can't leave a message, or it's full, or it has some weird music that is a promo, or somebody speaking as if though you are talking with someone, but it's really a voicemail, and it's annoying, and you just hang up, because I'm not going to go through that hassle to figure out whether it's a voicemail or it's somebody just trying to be funny.
That's
Oh,
right.
wow.
So I would recommend a professional greeting,
That's right.
Okay.
or at least a polite.
Like how you reach the voicemail
Right.
of
Yes.
your name, please leave a message. And do you get do you get frustrated with too long of an introduction in a voicemail? Like they just go on and on. You reached blah blah, and please leave a message. I don't know. Some people leave too much.
Yes.
It's like calling a business. It's a great day at wherever, and you just go on and on before you can get to the person.
Well, I hang up because I'm not going to go through that.
Okay, so now we hopefully made it through the name, address, phone, email. So what should come after that? What's typical?
For college students, typically they'll put their education. Typically, unless their experience trumps their education and they want to focus on their education as part of the skills that they bring. But typically you'd put the education
Okay.
and for college students, put some of the courses that would reflect the job that they're applying for. So as an employer, you can look to see, okay, somebody's applying for an accounting position. Put a few of your accounting courses or a few of your management courses. That tells the employer that you've had some experience, some exposure in those particular areas.
Okay, so I want to back up a little. When I first started doing resumes, there were a bunch of formats available online in Word or
templates.
different templates. I'm sorry.
Don't use them.
Okay,
That's right. Do not.
Don't use the template.
No.
I'm putting that in big bold letters. But on some of them, they had a space where you put an objective, and like that would trip. And it's still, I'm a writer, and it still trips me up. So
I have my students do a career objective, but I
Okay.
tell them that the trend is away from putting career objectives. But if they're going to put a career objective, I want them to know that it should be short and target the specific job that they're seeking.
Yeah.
And a career objective doesn't say, I want to get my master's, or it's not about them. It just simply says, targets the job. It's
Just
very
spe-
brief.
very
Exactly.
specific.
Very
Yeah.
specific.
Remember, you're selling yourself, and the employer wants to know what do you bring as opposed to what do you want.
okay.
So there's a difference. If you make it about what you want as opposed to what you bring.
Well, I'm glad I was gonna send Dr. Karen my resume. I'm glad I did because I'll be so embarrassed right now.
I mean, really, no, I tell my students, we're not born knowing this.
No.
Everybody has
we
to
have to learn.
It's a process.
I tell my students I'm not here to criticize, I'm here to critique and help you
That's
be
right.
successful.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay, we have another Facebook question from Ms. Helen Scott. Why not make a copy of the resume and give it back to the applicant? Resume paper can be costly, especially when applying for multiple jobs.
Remember, many companies now have you upload your resume into their system. The fancy paper that you put it on will not even be seen by the person looking at the resume.
So
It's
that's not
it's
necessary.
uploaded into a system, and a machine, a software, looks for keywords on that resume and see, are you going to be one of those persons that they'll select from the group. So,
So times are changing now that you don't necessarily have to take a physical resume with you.
And also, you're not the only one applying. Literally, there may be 100 people applying for that one job. And so the employer is not going to make 100 copies of the resumes
No.
and give them back to the people.
no.
Oh wow! And I noticed I have been helping my son apply for jobs, and there's various websites, Monster Indeed and other ones. And now even for say a retail job, they ask you if you would like to upload a resume, so you don't have to bring one with
No.
you. Okay,
So maybe one more suggestion for this listener. Find a mentor who can look at the resume to give some feedback before you submit it and turn it in. Get one or two other people to look at it and give some feedback on it.
That's right.
Because technically you're trying to get the company to hire you. Their job is not to critique your resume. Their job is to say, do we want you or not?
Okay.
So it's really supposed to already be ready when you send it to them.
Oh wow! Okay.
One way in which you can sort of quote unquote cheat or get ahead is to go and do an informational interview. Call in, talk with someone at the company to see what are they looking for. This job is out there. just sort of get a sense as to what they're looking for, get a sense as to what the culture within that company is, and also get somebody else to give you feedback on the resume, preferably somebody who works at a company, if you're able to get that type of feedback, because what it'll do many times is to sort of give you a sense as to whether or not that particular type of resume, the format you've put it in, if it's something that a particular company would find appealing.
Okay. And can I say one more thing? When we're talking about uploading resumes, when these resumes are uploaded, they search hundreds and thousands of resumes for keywords.
Yes.
So everybody listening that wants to do a resume needs to write that word down, because you need to make sure your resume has keywords that are appropriate for the job that you're interested in.
Okay.
I recommend that people thoroughly read the job description.
Absolutely.
If there are
Those will have
keywords in that job description, those are the keywords that need to be in the resume that they are looking for, because those are the ones they will search for.
And remember, with those keywords, make sure you start each sentence with that keyword that quantifies what you've done. Because many times we write these long sentences, which I am not going to read, and most recruiters are not going to read. Start out by saying, what exactly did you do? Quantify.
Okay, so we're going to get ready for a quick break, and we have a thumbs up from Annette Charles.
Hi, Annette.
So thank you for listening. When we come back, we're going to get deeper into building your resume, outlining your education and your career experience, and then other things you may have done. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back after these messages.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
What do some air traffic controllers and parents have in common? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. Sleeping on the job. An air traffic controller is supposed to oversee and direct all the planes surrounding their airport. It's a stressful and tiring job, which results in fatigue and sometimes unexpected naps. Well, parental fatigue is big too, and it's affecting our kids' physical and emotional safety. We can't fall asleep in the control tower of our children's lives. Every time our children leave the house, we need to be alert and ready in the control tower. Remember, your family first.
Want to connect with Mark on Facebook? You can at facebook.com/Mark Merrill. The Family Minute with Mark Merrill, helping families love well.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a non-profit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
KLK 102.5 FM is giving away $102.50 to one lucky listener. That's right, KLEK is giving back to you, our faithful listeners, as thanks for your support. Did I mention that we're giving away $102.50? I bet you're wondering, how can I win the money? Well, I'll tell you. It's quite easy, actually. Just come to our live broadcast Saturday, September 9th from 3 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. We'll be broadcasting live from Mrs. Polly's Motivational Barbecue CAB on the corner of Nettleton Avenue and Caraway Road in Jonesboro. We also want to thank Mrs. Polly's for sponsoring our giveaway. Their motto is, we do it for you. And we're doing it for you, Jonesboro. We're giving away $102.50 Saturday, September 9th. You want the money? Don't meet us there, beat us there. Attention members and guests, the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated presents Animal Instinct, the post-game party, Saturday, September 16th after the A-State UAPB football game at Legends Barbecue Smokehouse, 1025 West Johnson Avenue in Jonesboro, from 9 o'clock p.m. until 1 o'clock a.m. This is a 21 and up event. A portion of the proceeds will benefit the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. More information is available via any member of the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Support for KLEK is brought to you by
Fullness of Joy Ministries, 2120 Thorn Street, Jonesboro, under the direction of Bishop Adrian Rogers and co-pastor Susan Rogers. www.fjministries.org.
Did you know KLEK has a brand new streaming app? That's right, you can listen to KLEK 102.5 FM anywhere in the world. The app is available for all Android phones and tablets, as well as iPhones and iPads. Just search your app store for KLEK and download the KLEK app for free today. And don't miss a beat of the education, entertainment, and empowerment on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. And we're speaking with Dr. Sandra Bevel, Dr. Karen McDaniel, and Dr. Steve Leslie from the College of Business. And we're talking all about building your resume, making it professional. Oh, Lord.
That's a good word. I like that word.
Professional. Oh, my gosh. Professional and concise. And so that hopefully the employer that's looking at it will put you in the yes pal to interview that will lead you to a job. So we're going to continue on. We talked a lot about, the basics of building your resume. So we're going to continue on through the body of building your resume. When we left off, they were discussing, make sure you look at the job description, look for keywords, and include that in your resume. So let's move on to the next part. You mentioned earlier, Dr. Bevel, maybe your education should come before your experience, but...
Yeah, as Steve said, it just depends. Traditional students tend to put their education first.
Okay.
If you have years in the workforce and maybe don't have a degree, you'd put your experience first. So it's just whichever puts your best foot forward.
Okay.
And then on the references, what we were talking about
Yes,
is
references.
the two groups of people you should list as your references are people for whom you've worked.
Yes.
Okay.
Supervisors or managers, or maybe college professors. Not friends.
Not relatives.
Not relatives.
Okay.
Not the governor, even unless you work for him. But although you could have a personal section, but for professional references, people that you've worked for, or professors.
Okay, I have a question. I pulled up an old version of my resume from 2010, and this particular one, I don't know what I was applying for, but I listed at the particular job I had, I listed all of the duties under, I did administrative assistant, I was a caseworker, and a site coordinator for a program. So I listed under each one of those topics my duties. Now, is that something that you should say for the interview?
What did you list under administrative assistant?
Oh, wow. It's like over 10 things.
Well, was one of them filing or answering the phone?
Yes, file parenting education.
So see, if it's something that is just maybe routine for that particular job, you might not, don't use up the space with it.
Okay.
Employers want to find out how can you add value to the company you're applying to work with, and show your metrics. So if you worked there and you had to supervise 10 persons, you increase customer service efficiency by 5%. They want to see tangible things that you're able to do. Here's what I did. Tangible.
Okay. Like some of the things I listed, develop forms and brochures or submit reports. And then also listed like training and continuing education certificates I earned from other things, other seminars and things I went to. So, but I guess my main question is, should you be as detailed as that, depending on what the job you're applying for, or save that for the interview?
I'd say maybe four of the top things that you did at the most.
4 or 5 and no more, because again, think about it. 7 to 10 seconds is what most employers will do in terms of looking at your resume. In 7 to 10 seconds, if I can't get it, I'm not looking at it. It's in the pile of no or maybe.
Moving on to the next one. Okay, so
short sentences.
Yes. Okay. We were going to talk about references.
Yes.
And I was looking at this one, even though this is from 2010, I have updated it since then, but I can't find that one. these are way outdated, and one person on my list is deceased now. So definitely, what's the do's and don'ts for references?
One thing I suggest, for my students especially, but even if it were someone who had been working for a while and wanted my help as a mentor, if they asked me to be a reference, I have them send me their resume.
That's right.
I read their resume. I usually critique their resume if it's needed before I will say, yes, you can list me as a reference. And I do that for two reasons. Number one, I want them to have a super resume when they submit it.
Okay.
And number two, I want to know what all they've done so that when someone calls me that I have it and I want to be looking at one, I have them correct it before I say yes.
And you want to remember them because we
Right.
have so many students every year. If it's 5 years ago,
You just won't
maybe you need to refresh their memory. So don't use somebody as a reference unless you've asked their permission.
Right, and we need to know what you've done in the
Right.
last 5 years.
And then write a thank you afterwards.
Oh, that's so important.
Extremely important.
Absolutely.
So write a thank you to the person that is your reference.
Something else which I've seen happen as well, we talk about references. Okay, you used me as a reference a year ago for a job you applied for. You're moving to another job. You have made the assumption that I'm also your reference again. That is not an assumption you should make. And therefore, you've given my name to somebody to say I'm your reference, and I'm called and I'm like,
that's true.
flat-footed. I have no clue.
Well, you need to alert your reference. I'm applying for a new job. Do you mind if I list you for it also? Or if you have a good relationship, just send an email and, Dr. Leslie, I'm applying for this new position. The other one didn't work out. I'm applying for.
And here's my updated resume.
Heads up.
Okay. All right. So just some apply some courtesy.
Yes.
Be polite.
Just because it's a relationship that may be informal, still treat it as a formal relationship.
And it's just good sense to make sure the person is aware that you are applying for a different position. And here is my updated resume. So they're aware, because when you're called, most recruiters or prospective employees, when they do call, it's a few minutes. And within that few minutes, you have to be prepared. Whenever someone gives me as a reference, I'm making sure I have their resume in a place where I can find it easily. So when I'm called, I can look back at the resume and I can talk to those skills. But if I'm not aware you're going to be calling me, then
I don't know.
I'm flat-footed when you call, and it's like, okay, who is this person?
Most of us don't have that many people that we can list as references. So we want to take care of the ones that we have.
I was thinking about that one day. Not that I'm looking for anything, but when I was putting a resume together before I started here, because I was thinking about getting back into the nonprofit world, I'm like, I don't know who I can put that. Most people I know either go to my church or they're my friends. So let's talk about who not to use as a reference.
Your friends.
Your friends.
Because I have seen resumes where individuals would put, Miss So-and-so friend, Mr. So-and-so friend.
Why would you qualify?
Why do I want to call your friends? I know they're going to say you're a great person, you're lovely, but they can't talk to me about your job skills because, and if you've worked with them, you need to put coworker, not friend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
An exception might be if somebody were applying for a job at ASU, for example, that I've been friends with for a long time, they might have a section called personal references, and they might list my name. So if you know somebody who works there that could vouch for you character-wise, but just separate them from your professional references.
Because most employers want to find out you're validating this person's skills and experiences.
Absolutely.
So all my job as a reference is to say, yes, these are the skills that this person will bring to this job. These are the experiences that I can validate. So you want to find persons who are previous employers, persons who have worked with you, who can say that, yes, you do have those particular skill sets.
Okay. And I want to kind of transition to something we talked about a little bit off air, what we brought up, which was LinkedIn, which now has become almost like other social media sites. When you're applying for a job and you're preparing your resume, should you clean up your social media sites?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
As a matter of fact, you shouldn't let them get unclean to begin with.
Okay.
It will follow you forever.
That's called your digital footprint.
Yes.
And
Okay, so and then
And consistency as well, if I may. Consistency. They need to be consistent from one to the other, because when you go into social media, many employers now go Google you. They go look at your Facebook or your LinkedIn or your Twitter account, and they look at that and they determine, do I really want this particular person or organization? The values that they are actually espousing, is it what we believe or not?
Go ahead. Almost 90%, the latest research is almost 90% of the recruiters said they use LinkedIn to find candidates.
Yes.
So if you don't have a LinkedIn account, you need to get one. And if you have one, you need to make sure it's good.
Okay. And so basically you need to post often, maybe some things that you're doing
Professionally.
Very professional. I've seen
One of the things that LinkedIn does, or any type of digital profile like LinkedIn, is it extends your resume.
Okay.
Because, for example, you're a student and you are a part of a particular sorority or fraternity, and you were part of a fundraising effort. It's on your resume, but guess what? You have a video, you have pictures of that on your LinkedIn as an option persons can click on and actually not just see you on a flat surface, but also see it in living color.
That's right.
So that extends your resume in a very, very important way.
And now a lot of people like to use, I say a lot, I would say the majority of people under 35 like to use Instagram. And so they do post some of those quick, video pictures. So would it be advisable to take the best ones and put them on LinkedIn as well, and maybe put a description of what that event was, what role you played?
A professional event?
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a fundraiser, something that's fun, you may have on t-shirt and jeans, but it was an official fundraiser.
What did you do?
Yeah,
the idea
that
is
would
that
be, I want to know your role.
if you're going to put the video there and you're just a part of it,
yeah.
you see, again, employers want to know, how did you impact?
Right.
What was your role?
So on LinkedIn, would it be better just to list your role, the duties that you did, and what your leadership role was in that, whether it was community service, a fundraiser?
LinkedIn is strictly professional.
And you can link to it. It doesn't have to be the video, but you can put the link there, and the link is active, and you can actually go to that particular website or particular feed. But the idea is, again, it extends your resume and it connects you with lots of persons. And as we're talking about LinkedIn, just a cautionary note, don't add everyone like you do necessarily on Facebook as your friend on LinkedIn. It's a professional network, and people evaluate your professionalism based on who you are professionally linked with.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and another comment on that, make sure you have a professional profile picture on your LinkedIn.
Absolutely. No selfies.
And even on Facebook, you want to have one. Your Facebook is more personal, but you still want to have one that's presentable, that if a potential employer went to look at it, that it would look.
And they are going to look at it, I believe.
I had a student one time. She was actually president of a student club, and I went to her Facebook because she had liked our student Facebook page. She had her tongue sticking out, and I thought, you are a senior and you want to get a job, and you're applying for jobs. That was, I guess it was funny for personal, but if you're on the job market, that is not the profile picture to have.
So be aware of your profile pictures across the board.
Or any pictures. That
Manage your social media, because remember, we're in a digital universe, as I call it, digital world, and anything is available online. And employers, again, they're protecting their brand. They want to make sure you are in line. There is some sort of a connection with your brand and theirs, and if your brand is going to pull their value down, they're not going to want you within their organization. Your skill set may be really, really good, but again, how do you fit into the culture of that organization? How do you fit into their mission? Will your brand work well in their particular culture, or will it simply degrade it?
Oh, wow.
So think of LinkedIn as your resume that never sleeps.
Yes,
Really.
I like that.
That's true.
I like that.
Okay, your resume that never sleeps.
They can check it anytime.
And you never know some employers, some people are night owls, and they like to scroll late at night to see what you're doing, those things that you think no one else will see. There's someone watching at all times. Unfortunately, we live in a world that's, I don't want to call it Big Brother, but
yeah,
to some degree.
One final thing, LinkedIn, you need to use a lot of keywords on LinkedIn too, because that's how recruiters check LinkedIn.
Okay.
They do have databases that check LinkedIn profiles for keywords.
I've heard some companies will only use LinkedIn they use that instead of a resume.
Right.
Instead of a
It's
resume.
really, really important to do a good LinkedIn.
And so what I have noticed when I first started my LinkedIn, there's a section where you can add your skills.
Yes.
So would you advise people to go update that on a regular? Any new job, any new skill, any new experience you have, go update those.
Absolutely.
Those skills that you have.
One of my peeves is that you look at resumes and the skills or the experiences that are written there are not in the correct tense.
Oh.
So I did this 4 years ago, and it's written as if though I'm doing it now. So, yes.
Oh, wow.
So your past experience is written as if though they're present experience, and it becomes highly confusing as to whether are you still doing this, or did you do it in the past?
Okay,
so
say
the verb.
Yes.
So say you had a job,
and the verb as well.
You had a job from 2005 to 2007, and under that you said working on XYZ. The ing is present versus ed.
Worked.
Okay.
Yes.
So work on, and I'm usually a grammar police. Like I tell people, I'm sorry, I'm silently, even though I don't always speak properly. I break a verb.
None of us do.
But there are some cases where I am silently correcting. Like, gosh, yes.
And just Google excellent LinkedIn profiles for people looking for a job in marketing or management, whatever you're looking for, and you can see other people's and get idea from their excellent LinkedIn.
Okay. Now, on LinkedIn, a lot of people like to endorse you. Does that matter, the number of endorsements you have?
They're legitimate.
It depends on who's endorsing you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what value do they bring to you when they endorse you? Do they have value as well? How are they viewed within their own industry, within their own particular field? If they have great value, say for example, argument, say Bill Gates endorses you, and you're in IT and you're looking for upper level job in the IT industry, then therefore if Bill Gates endorses you, that gives you great value because of his value. Okay. So look to see what's that person's value and how will that endorsement work for you.
Okay. All right, so we talked about LinkedIn, we talked about, other social media sites and what to do, what not to do, and, I really hope that people are taking notes. And, even though someone's in their 30s, they may have been on a job 5 to 10 years, but they may be looking for a change, transition into a different position. Just thought about that. What if you're transitioning to a different position within the same company? I'm sorry. Go ahead. You got to still submit a resume.
I mean, that's not unusual. You can just put on the job career objective, the job that you're interested in, and it would just be, you just do your resume the same way, right? That's what I would say. The same thing.
From your experience at Arkansas State, is that required? Say if you were moving from the College of Business to the College of...
If the job's posted, you're going to have to submit a resume.
Yes, you have to apply just like any other person.
Okay.
And you have to go through the same rigor of being selected based on your particular skill set and who rises to the top based on their interview, based on all the other pieces that they have to look at.
Okay. What about within your department? I don't know how it's all set up. Say you came in as a teacher assistant and you are working on your degree and now you want to move up to, I don't know what the next, a professor, or I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't know the different levels.
I don't think you'd have to apply for that. That'd be kind of a promotion.
Okay.
When you get tenure or promotion, we do mountains of work to prove our worthiness, so to speak.
Well, we have to earn the promotion.
We have to, that's what I'm trying
we have to provide evidence that we've met all the criteria to earn the promotion.
Some stacks.
I give you a round of applause. The student on the outside looking in, I don't even can't even fathom what you all have to deal with when it comes to managing your students, managing curriculum, and everything else that goes along.
Part of the value is when you look at students and they come back and they say, wow, because of what you shared in your classroom or what we talked about or what you taught, I was able to do this. And that's a great encouragement for faculty, knowing that they're getting value from those classes and they're actually using those skills.
Yeah, when you've taught 40-something years like I have, you have the pleasure of seeing your high school students or your college students become successes that you knew they could.
Yeah.
And that's just such a pleasure.
And from your experience, when you're trying to teach students how to develop themselves professionally, whether it's building a resume, really killing it at an interview, moving on and being successful in their career, have you seen some that just simply have not grasped what you have tried to teach them?
Yes.
Okay, on that note, we're going to take a break. When we come back, maybe one of them will share one of their stories. So you're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. If you have any questions or comments, drop them in our Facebook live stream or give us a call at 870-277-1080. And we'll be right back.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. Our Think Wealthy quote of the week comes from personal finance expert, author, and financial journalist Valerie Coleman Morris.
Everybody is allowed a free credit report every year. In some states, too. You need to get it and read it. You need to do that before you need it, by the way.
Right.
People need to understand that you can't spend more money than you make, even though a lot of people do.
Right.
The average American household will overspend by 20% a year. You also need to understand that you have to save. Our savings rate is terrible, and it's something that you need to spread through your entire family.
Morris is absolutely right. The basics of wealth accumulation and smart money management do not change, regardless of the ups and downs of the economy or changes in your personal financial situation. You have to control debt and live within your means. For more information or for past shows, go to AURN.com. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
When life takes a wrong turn, what do you do? When things are looking at their worst, who do you turn to? KLEK 102.5 FM and Massey Productions presents the inspirational gospel stage play, To Hell and Back, a story that will inspire you, renew and reaffirm your faith, featuring performers from all over Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana. One big show, 12 noon, Saturday, September 16th, at the Epic Center, 1899 County Road 333, Hasbrook Road in Jonesboro. Tickets are $10 in advance, $15 at the door, and can be purchased at KLEK, Cool Cuts, the Epic Center, or by calling 870-277-1080. Bring the entire family Saturday, September 16th, before the A-State UAPB game, to the Epic Center to see the inspirational gospel stage play, To Hell and Back.
This event is a KLEK fundraiser.
KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com. Starks Auto Plaza, your pre-owned superstore, is a longtime supporter of KLEK. 2829 Red Wolf Boulevard, Starks offers clean, reliable vehicles of all makes and models. Starks also offers no-hassle pricing, friendly service, financing options with approved credit. At Starks, you're always family, and our motto is, we never say no. 870-203-9980. StarksAutoPlaza.com.
Arkansas Early Learning is accepting applications right now for childcare. We have locations all across Northeast Arkansas. Applications at arearlylearning.org. That's arearlylearning.org. Right here in the community at no cost. Arkansas Early Learning offering kids a head start.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
Did you know that KLEK 102.5 FM is a nonprofit organization? Did you know that you can donate to KLEK 102.5 FM and your donation is tax deductible? Donations to nonprofit organizations such as KLEK can reduce the amount of taxes you may owe the IRS or increase the amount of any potential tax refund. Support your KLEK today. You can donate by calling 870-277-1080, visiting our studio at 1411 Franklin Street in Jonesboro, or on our website www.klekfm.org. We at KLEK 102.5 FM are blessed and grateful for your support. From the KLEK community calendar, there will be a free community workout every Sunday and Tuesday starting at 6 o'clock p.m. at Allen Park, and every Thursday night also starting at 6 o'clock p.m. at Parker Park. More information is available via Arlesia Baker at 870-273-3437.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to our last segment of Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. So, off the air, they still didn't share any bad stories with me, so sorry, I don't have anything to tell you. But we will talk about some success stories when it comes to the students. And again, we're speaking with Dr. Karen McDaniel, Dr. Sandra Bevel, and Dr. Steve Leslie from Arkansas State University from the College of Business. And we're talking about, we have been discussing building your resume from beginning to end, making it professional and concise to the point, using keywords, making sure that, well, hopefully, making sure that employer or recruiter put your resume in the yes to interview pile that will hopefully lead you to a job. So we're going to end, the show recapping the things we've already talked about, and I want to hear some success stories from the professors. They've been doing this for quite a while. They've seen the good, the good and the bad and the ugly. I want to hear about some of the students that you had. When they first came to you, they were really rough around the edges, but when they left you, you were like, wow, okay, they have potential.
Karen, you want?
I'm a little biased on that one. I have one young woman. I've been teaching for quite a long time. Sandra, you've been teaching a lot longer than me, but this one young woman, she was in 2 or 3 of my classes. I was her advisor. She was very rough around the edges. She did not come from a home that had education. Okay. But she was so determined, she was so intelligent, but she didn't know how to use her intelligence in a professional way. Okay. Long story short, she finished her undergrad and came to me for advice, and I said, have you ever considered an MBA? She was working 80 to 90 hours a week, paying for her own education, driving back and forth an hour to school each day.
Oh my goodness.
So she took the leap of faith. She did the MBA. And I offered to help her get a professional makeover. She had very long hair, didn't wear a lot of makeup. So I sent her to Eden, and they helped her out, cut her hair. She got a very professional-looking haircut, got her makeup done, her nails done. So she learned how to polish to go on interviews. She got her MBA. She's working now in healthcare, and she's building her resume to go into healthcare administration at some point. But I just, that's what makes our job so rewarding. It's the students that listen to the advice. So many do not, but the success stories usually are the ones who have listened and come to their faculty for mentorship. It's so important. We all need help.
Yes, ma'am.
We all need help. I need help.
Right.
So,
how do you, Dr. Karen? Okay, so
my mind has just been racing with the people because of Facebook, because of the students I taught in high school, the students I've had in college. I can think of so many success stories.
Okay.
But and some of them were very, very intelligent students, but a lot of them were not. A lot of them had a lot of emotional intelligence, and they really worked hard, and they achieved beyond their wildest dreams.
Okay.
Some of them. So.
That's really wonderful.
I just saw a video recently, and it was talking about grit, why some students are successful and some are not. And they were talking about having grit and being hardworking and perseverance that makes so much.
Which is emotional.
Hey, look, Nancy.
Yeah. That's
so important.
Wow, okay. Have you ever had students that they bucked against everything you tried to teach? They went out into the world and they had to come back and basically, you know what, I apologize. You really tried to help me. You tried.
Yes, yes.
A few.
A few.
We've had a few of those.
That is wonderful. Well, I hope that all the students that you have now and going forward, they truly appreciate what you bring to the table. I'm not in one of your classes, and I probably won't ever. But from what I can tell that you are passionate and compassionate professors, and you just want your students to get the most out of life.
Absolutely.
That's
I
right.
mean, I try to tell some of the young girls that I talk to that are in high school now, college is a whole different world, and I wish I had mentors, or I wish I had have reached out and allowed people to mentor me my freshman year. I might be in a better place now, but that's neither here nor there. But I try to be the person to them that I didn't have.
Great.
And so hopefully they can be successful when they go to college. It's a whole different world out there.
You just need to ask for help. Ask for help.
And that's where I went wrong. I was stuck within myself and internalized what I was dealing with, and I didn't reach out. And I'm looking back now, I can kick myself. Oh well, so we have about 2.5 minutes left. So any final thoughts, any shout outs to anyone? You have the floor.
Well, I would like to say hello to all my former and current students.
All right.
And children.
Alrighty.
Quabila, it's always a pleasure being on with you. You're such a joy to talk
you.
with. You make this so fun and educational. So thank you for all that you and Legansy do here.
And thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, this
That
has
was
been
great.
awesome.
That was
And
great.
if I did not let my two beautiful kids,
They are beautiful.
Gabriel and Daniel Leslie at University Heights,
They're gonna
and
get you.
they will have my head. So Daniel and Gabriel, Daddy says hi.
Alrighty. Well, we thank you all so much for coming and sharing your expertise with us. And I really hope that everyone that has listened has gotten something out of it. I know I have. I'm going to go work on my resume. Just to have. No, this is one last question. Even if you're not in the job market, is it a good idea to just constantly refresh your resume?
Yes.
Yeah, because you'll forget.
You'll forget.
Okay.
And keep a running total, so to speak. So jot it down, write it down, and add it. Sometimes life happens, but just keep writing it down somewhere, and eventually you can put it into the actual resume. So just put it down.
Now, if someone goes to, say, seminars, continuing education events, you get a certificate, should you have a dedicated place to keep those
Keep them in a folder.
things?
Yes.
And also, if you're working someplace and your supervisor retires or moves, maybe ask for an open or blanket letter of recommendation because you may never be able to get.
Yeah.
Okay, that is really wonderful. So thank you all so very much. And just to remind you all, an objective is not always necessary.
Yeah.
Upload your resume in a PDF format and practice doing the the physical one versus the e-version. So I really hope that all these tips have really helped you all. And just remember, your resume is considered a marketing tool of who you are.
Exactly.
It's a reflection of you on paper. Make it concise.
Your personal brand.
Okay, your personal brand. So we thank you all so much for coming. I'm sure we'll find another topic for you to come back and discuss.
Thank you, Kavita. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Everyone have a very blessed
Thank you
day.
for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints